Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be making a video on some of the most controversial mods that I have seen personally in the 6th-Gen community, and I'm going to show you how I can put some of the arguments to rest on my build over the next upcoming year or so. So let's get into it. One overall part that's actually going to turn into three overall parts is going to be this whole intake system. So obviously the high ram lower is on all the fast cars unless you have like a PTR intake or the CID manifold or BTR or anything like that. But for NA stuff, usually most fast guys run the high ram lower. Here's where the controversy happens. The lid there, some people switch it to the shear fab lid. Obviously, I'm a big talk on the GPI group page where most people say that lid doesn't gain anything and might actually lose over the stock Holly lid because the stock Holly lid is not a restriction. Now, what I'm going to say is every build is different. Me personally, I want to switch this lid to the shear fab lid, the 112 to 120 lid, the huge one, because I think that might actually add airflow 6,800 RPM up to my red line of 7,500. Also, in saying that, I'm going to do it mod by mod by mod. So, to have the most realistic results, I'm going to have to do the lid first, keep this intake, keep that throttle body. That shouldn't be that hard to do. Most things I'm going to have to do it about similar air, hopefully same day, and shift about the same. Easiest thing for me is probably a 60 to 130 pull. I have a draggy. I could probably do 3 and average them out, which I'm going to be planning on doing here very shortly once the weather breaks here. First thing I'm going to do is stock throttle body and the lid. And then obviously right after that, I'm going to be changing the throttle body from this 103 to a 105 to see if it would allow more air, if it would actually make more power, because I've been told that the bigger throttle bodies don't make power, but to some extent, I can agree unless the build actually recommends it, which I think is where my build comes into play, saying that I think this car, being a 416 stroker that uses a lot of air, needs a lot of air, can use more air to make more power. The next mod I'm going to talk about is the intake. Yes, I already talked about somewhat about how I regret making this tube, but it worked for the time being. I didn't see any KPA drop off. I saw between 98 and 99 on every single pull I made since I put this intake on it, when it was falling off with the rotofab. So obviously my car needed more air, and the data log shows that. So reading the data logs also, I've seen most people have actual over 101, 102 kPa, which means you're actually experiencing ram air. And the way to do that is to do an OTR. That is actually my next thing that I'm going to do is first the lid, next the throttle body, third the OTR. Hopefully same day with the lid, the throttle body, and the OTR, if all possible, with helps from my tuner. And I think that would be honestly possible. If not, I'll try and get it as close as I possibly can with density, altitude, temperature, and time of day and everything like that. One extra thing that I've seen is the OTRs that go here and down and cut this out and run hood pins. I think that's going to be my way I'm going to do it because it's a street car and I don't want the trumpet or the OTT really just sucking in air, especially if I drive it 35 to 4,000 miles every year on the road. Another mod I'm going to be changing up is I'm going from 1 7/8 inch headers to 2-inch headers because same thing with the shear fab lid. I think changing the header size, high RPM, would actually make a huge difference for my car. In talking about that, Vibrant Performance actually has an upgrade where I can go from a 2-inch header to a 3.5-inch primary or collector at the bottom. I think that'd be a huge upgrade to help the air push through the exhaust a lot faster and get a lot better velocity and scavenging high up where I actually need the power instead of exactly where it is right now with the 1 7/8 and 3-inch. So between those two things with the header, I'm also going to be thinking about doing a 3-inch exhaust instead of the 2 3/4. And looking it up on ChatGPT, they said it was a 19% better airflow rate, which is absolutely insane, especially on a car like this where I think it might actually be restrictive. I think one of the biggest things I'm going to be able to do is get rid of the possible restriction with the lid and the throttle body and the OTR, the headers, and the getting a little bit bigger of an exhaust on it. So I think all those things together might net me maybe another 3 or 4 tenths. Probably not. Probably more on the smaller side of things, maybe like 2 tenths. But that right there would help me just get closer down to that 9 where I want to be. And speaking of that, I will be getting Viking shocks for the front. After seeing the video, the car squats, maxes out the front, tries to go higher, it doesn't, unloads the back tire, and that's why it squeaks twice going before the 60 foot, which obviously means that the front suspension's all the way maxed out. And my opinion, I can hit it a lot harder once that's dialed, knowing that it won't max out and make the car feel unhappy. So after all that, I think this year, after I said I'm not going to change anything this year I'm probably going to do the lid, throttle body, OTR, 2-inch headers with 3.5-inch primaries, and 3-inch exhaust with the Viking front shocks. And yes, it might cost me a lot of money to tune for each specific part, but at the end of the day, if it's for content, showing what the car is actually capable of mod for mod, that proves me that what could be worth it to you as well. So if that doesn't make sense, I apologize, but if the mods work on my exact car and you have a build similar to this, that means it'll actually make power. And if not, I'll take it back off and go back to what I'm running right now, probably staying with the OTR, because I heard you could save 410, 60 to 130 just because of how much more airflow you get, and it's absolutely absolutely amazing. So that's what I'm probably going to be doing. So first thing, probably going to do the exhaust because that's probably really simple. Next thing, Viking shocks. Both of those two things don't require a tune, maybe an alignment, but those two things at first, then I'm going to take it to the track. Maybe not. I might leave it completely as it is right now for the fact that I want to see how much the shifter actually changes the car, knowing that I can do it confidently now. And then after that, I'll do the shocks, I'll do the exhaust, and then probably play around with the front shocks a little bit because they're not going to be perfect out of the box. I'm going to have to adjust and then readjust the rears. And then from there, lid, throttle body, and OTR. So yeah, a couple little mods coming up here for the car, but I think at the end of the day, just more research out there for the 6th-gen community would be amazing, especially the ones staying NA. One of the biggest things for me too that I forgot to mention earlier is if the shear fab lid doesn't make more power, high RPM, where all the fast NA cars are, why does every fast NA car have the shear fab? Why in the world would something that makes less power be on every single fast NA car? Doesn't make sense to me. So in that case, I think the lid will pick up huge for me. Obviously, the hood's already compromised, so I'm not really worried about that, especially hood pins and all that. Actually, this is a 1LE car, so this hood, as you see right there, I bought it off of a wrecked car. So this actually isn't the original hood, so I have no exact attachment to this car, or to this hood, I should say, sorry. Yeah, so I'll cut it as much as I need to, put the hood pins in it, and run it like that for the next time being, because from what I know, from what I've been telling you guys, this car's staying rowdy NA, because if I were to redo it all over again, I'd have to build a different motor, gap the rings differently, do everything completely different than what I did this time. So that's where the second car comes into play once YouTube kind of, starts to take off and put me on the map. So this car's staying NA. That's why I'm going to do all the NA mods to it, and even cut the radiator support, go hood pins, go all gangster, go all out, and then the boosted one will be coming once content takes off a little bit better. But that'll be it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully it gives you guys some insight and knowledge of what I think and what I'm going to be doing next year, because I am not going to be keeping it stock. Duh, it's not stock. Keeping it how it is right now, because I just can't keep things alone. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or maybe even some data that's not out there publicly, I would love to see it. Because I want to justify my purchases even better, even faster. Be like, hey, if this dude actually picked up good power with just the lid, I'm going to do it. But I'm going to be doing the big lid. I think that's where the big power comes in. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave them in the comments below. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.